Hello everyone, we're finally back again with some extra Minecraft. Sorry it's been so long, and by so long I mean 2 days, but we're finally back. Last time we did a little bit of mining and managed to chip away a decent chunk of the world, which as you can see we're now starting to get into stone territory, which means we need a beacon from here on to really get anything done. So that's what we're going to be working on today. I've got a tutorial pulled up by ENX4 that we're going to be using. Granted, this is going to be a bit of a modified one since I don't want to deal with nether portal shenanigans at this time. Mainly because they tend to be only useful for farms that are way out there physically. Because right now, as it stands, the fortress that I will be using is way out of the way, or is not way out of the way, it's directly in my house, so kind of can't do it there, fortunately. And again, not an issue, just something that we need to work around a bit when we are installing like the killing chamber and things of that nature. So yeah, we will try and get that going here in a moment. Let's go ahead and take some time to clean up our inventory as usual. Currently, I'll go ahead and put the day count in here. It is day 90 in game, not day 91 as the sun starts to set. So we're coming up fast on day 100, and we're doing pretty good for the first couple of days here. Not too bad at all. Got some good plans for our base, and really just have gotten a lot done in terms of building, so I'm pretty happy with it. As for what I've been doing personally, of course, I've been working now, finally, all this time. I've been having pretty chill first couple of days of work. Just been reading a lot of regulations and just kind of getting used to the job and the people. And otherwise, it's been super easy going, and I've liked it very much. So hopefully, you can keep this good thing going here in the future and see what else I can do. Yeah, going back to this Ian Axofor farm that I have pulled up here, I'm working on getting a nice itty bitty little list of materials, which basically is just a bunch of cobblestone and iron bars. Well, 3 iron bars, so not even like that many iron bars. Some glass, which is not actually needed because it's more for the tube and platform that's going to be above the nether. Slab, solid blocks. Basically a ton of nether brick though is the other bit. And a couple of chests. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make our chest first. And we're basically just going to do a lot of digging for right now. So we're not even going out and doing a lot yet, but just to kind of give you an idea of what we're going to be doing here. This whole farm is based around the fact that only a small couple of mob types spawn within another fortress. And basically, what we're doing is we're stopping a couple of them from spawning. So magma cubes won't spawn if we physically block off enough sections with walls, because it can't spawn in a section that's smaller than like a 2x2, I believe. Or it can't, yeah, so there's certain things we can do to stop a lot of the spawning, but basically what we need to do is pick a nice corner of an intersection here, which looks like it'll be this one. Yep, something like this. And let's go ahead and watch the video a little bit more just to make sure. Now, actually, this is a little different. So, just to recap, when it comes to this farm that Ian is recommending, this is going off of general fortress bounding boxes and not intersection bounding boxes. So when we build this, we actually need to adapt to be a little different here. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're gonna... Oh boy, if I want to mod a farm like this is going to be kind of tough to do, because we're going to have to invent some new stuff here. Not really invent, but we've got a lot of new crap that needs being built. Basically, I think what we're going to do is we're going to center it in the northeast spot. So again, center 2 blocks for our golem. It's going to be there. This is what he's going to stand on. And then what we basically need to do is go 30 blocks out in each direction to clear out everything. So we're looking at 125, and we're going to 126, so we need to go to 155. Going to be here. And then we're going to go ahead and go back another 30 as well from here. So 122 there, which means we're going to go to negative 92 on our Z chord. Which means only a minor dip into here. There we go. Nice and simple. And we'll go ahead and just seal this off just to be consistent. And then same deal, we're going to go 30 blocks from here. So 88 to 58 is where things are going to get a little bit more annoying. So we're going to do something like this to denote denote our wall here, and it sounds like we finally have. Yep. Fuck. I didn't see him there. Uh-oh. Whoops. I genuinely didn't see that guy. Ah, great. Luckily, it should be a relatively non-issue considering we blocked off enough, but that is still not a particularly good thing. Just out of curiosity, if I relog, can I bait them into not being angry? Or will they still be angry? They will still be angry. Crap. Well, that's going to make things more annoying. Anyways, I'm going to go 30 out again. So we're looking at 291, which means we want to go to 3021. Now, unfortunately, 3021 is here right away of our ladder, so we're going to stop a little short, go here. And then basically, it just turns into, let's dig a big square that's 3 blocks tall and fill in the full nether brick. And then that's pretty much it. So we're just digging out a big platform here that we can use. Interesting. Alright. Do we have a clean way in? No, not really. Uh-oh. Got a lot of digging and weird shit that's gonna need to be done to get this going. Ironically, watch this be in a spot where we're gonna need like a crap ton of insta-mine, so it's not even gonna be that useful. That would be really awesome and cool, as you can tell by the tone of my voice, but yeah, no, we're basically just making a big ass square, and we're just kind of going off of that. Really didn't get much simpler than that. Also why it's good to know the mechanics of games and not necessarily just following like a step-by-step farm tutorial, or at least without understanding all the mechanics that go into it. Because when you inevitably come to a point where you want to build a bit more of a custom one that fits your own needs, you understand what makes a farm actually work and what doesn't. Now, as I say that, just understand that I'm really dumb and I will inevitably just jinx myself into making a piece of crap that does not work and that wastes a bunch of my time. So, take that with a grain of salt. But we will see what happens. But yeah, while we're in the bounding box here, we need this to all be nether brick, just because it needs to be within a structured part of the bounding box and not just the overall bounding box. Since there's two different types of bounding boxes that go into the fortress, they've got the general one that the entire fortress sits in, and then the other ones that corridors and hallways and intersections sit in. So, since we're dealing with hallways and intersections, the floor needs to be built out of, technically it can't actually be built out of any block, but because parts of it go outside of this intersection, at least I'm pretty confident they do, I would much rather just keep it safe and just build it out of nether brick. Interesting. Wait for that to do its thing. Anyways. Basically, all this really involves too is just having a central bit with an iron golem pushed into a set of iron bars, so that way he can lure the wither skeletons. And specifically, it's built in a way that won't allow him to lure regular skeletons too, which is obviously very good because we don't want regular skeletons to be aggro towards the iron golem, because all they'll do is just sit there and shoot them, which we can't have, so that's no good. And otherwise, what I think this really comes down to is just dig a big square and put a bunch of nether brick on the floor, put the iron golem in place. Going through all the different mobs that can spawn in fortresses, you've got blazes, which are always stupid and they do their own thing, so we kind of have to ignore them. Let's see here. Zombie pigmen, which will lure with turtle eggs that we'll go to get a little later. I might just lure them into it as well, instead of pushing them away, because the farm that Ian has basically forces all the mobs to go away out of the spherical mob distance, except for all the ones that you actually want. So wither skeletons are the only ones that are lured towards the center of the platform, while all the others are led away. So that's how you get it, so only wither skeletons actually stay loaded and stay spawned after enough time passes. And then from there, it's pretty much just a matter of figuring out what to do with everything. So again, we can stop magma cubes from spawning outright with just simple bits and pieces that aren't too hard to deal with. So it's not too difficult for us to work with. We literally just need to place down a bunch of wall blocks every couple of blocks. That'll stop them from spawning. Skeletons can't really stop them from spawning, unfortunately. Unless, actually no, we can, right? Because don't they need total darkness? Hang on. Let me check the wiki. So regular skeletons need light level 0, but in the nether they only need a light level of 7 or less, so never mind, that actually won't do it anymore, unfortunately. So I was gonna say we could just use like a light emitting block that's below, like, that's above 0, but well below like the other ones. And then that would stop them from doing it, but that's not gonna work for us, unfortunately. So yeah, we're gonna have to play around that a bit more. But actually, they're a fairly rare spawn, so that may not actually be too big of an issue for us, all things considered. If it is, we can probably. What we can probably do is, no, we can't scare them away with dogs, because if we scare them away with dogs, what'll end up happening is they will get into the wrong spots and things will get a little bit annoying, because it'll scare away the wither skeletons too, so we can't have that. Unless we scare them towards the central chamber where they die with the wither skeletons as well. So that may be something we can attempt to do. Let's see here, what else? Again, magma cubes aren't an issue. Skeletons are going to be ignored because they have like the lowest spawn chance out of any of them to spawn. Blazes will be another actually pretty big issue because we don't really have a way to scare them. They just kind of exist and then they do whatever, which is obviously a bit of a problem. which I don't think we have a way around at all. Alrighty. So yeah, nothing was addressed for withers or not wither skeletons. Obviously, they were addressed. Nothing was addressed for blazes, which means that this thing will get blazes almost definitely, which is a little bit of a shame, but manageable. Mainly, as long as we can force a lot of wither skeletons to spawn, I'll be pretty happy. So I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Additionally, too. Okay, because I really don't want to use nether portals to force them upwards, but at the same time, we don't actually have a way to force mobs upwards without bubble columns, don't we? Like, there's nothing, right? There has to be something, right? There's piston slime block elevators, um, and then nether portal, bubble elevator. Either way, that would also require us breaking up into another route, which I don't actually want to do for quite a while. Just because we don't have a lot of places we need to go that are that far yet. And also, it's too early to be breaking into it, so I don't feel like doing it right now, too. But, yeah, hell, maybe even just making a spawning platform like we're about to do might be enough to get me what I need to start with, so we'll see what happens, but still gotta look for solutions, but yeah, basically, it's just lure all the wither skeletons somewhere that you can kill them at, and then hopefully that somewhere is a drop chute down below that I can take good advantage of, because if not, then we are going to have a much more time than I would like. I have a lot of nether brick either too, so we're going to have to take some time to go out and harvest a bunch of it back here. So that'll be fun. Unfortunately, because we're in a basalt delta, partially, this is a very tedious thing to do by hand, digging all this out, so not good for us. It will be worth it in the long run, but it's just not cool right now. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I might only be able to do a quarter of this before I'm like, alright, I don't want to do this forever today, so we'll see what happens, but I don't know. job's going pretty good. I won't get my first paycheck until October 3rd, and it's only September 12th, so it's gonna be 3 weeks before I get any amount of money from this. But the money I do get will be about $2,000. So, you know, that'll be pretty good. I just have to kind of hold out until then, and I've got some money I'm trying to stretch until that point. Once I get that first paycheck, basically what I plan on doing is my rent for the month will already be paid along with my security deposit. But what I plan on doing with that first paycheck is I'll pay my car payment with it, and then I'll try and save the remainder. But realistically, I want to make sure that I hit that $5,000 mark for my rewards points, because I'm planning on buying a Switch 2 early next month, so that'll be fun. Since I'll get a free $750 in rewards points for paying bills through my new credit card, I'm just putting everything on that and then paying that back off very quickly. So that's what the rest of that money is going to go back into, is paying off that credit card as well. So that way I can keep the interest rates down. Or rather, the interest amounts down. The rates aren't going to change. It's just the actual amount that I'll owe in interest will change. But either way, I'm going to focus on using it to pay off my debt. And hopefully, because luckily October is on a bi-weekly schedule, it's one of the only months, it's one of 2 months that you get paid 3 times in a month. I can use that third $2,000 at the end of the month to, well, obviously budget ahead for next month's rent and all that, but I'll be able to save most of it and put it back into my credit card to pay off a lot of my debt again. So I can pay off every 2 weeks a good $1,000 or $2,000 of debt at a time with it, and then basically I just need to save enough cash to pay my car payment and my trailer payment, so otherwise all of my money can go back towards my credit card, and then I can pay all my bills through that credit card as I need to. So that's kind of the way I need to think about things here going forward, to make sure I use up all my money on it for my rewards points. And then it also makes sure too that I'm actively paying off my debt, because I'm actively using it for daily expenses and groceries and other bills, and then otherwise it's pretty much golden. So yeah, but it's all gonna be worth it. Just gotta keep grinding here for a little bit longer, and I should be able to claw my way out of debt pretty quickly. I'd say by the end of the year I should have all my debt fully paid off. Well, obviously other than like a car payment and a trailer payment, but barring those, I'll have pretty much every other credit card paid off, so I shouldn't have to wait too much. Wither Skeleton Rattles, that's why. Because they're also up there. Come on down. The zombie pigmen don't seem to be too bad right now, which is good. So that makes life a little bit easier for the time being. Though something horrible happens and I fucking die, but not my problem right this second, so I'm not gonna worry about that. There we go. I'll do that. Go. We're done with about a quarter here, so we're making some headway, but obviously it's going to be a little tough to really do it. Zombie pigman grunts, but I'm not hearing any angry grunts, so that should be okay. Good. Alright, well, anyways, we're going to go ahead and just tuck all this in here for right now, since I don't really need to put it anywhere else. And just get back to digging. Now, realistically, what I can try and do as well is I can try and spawn-proof the entire rest of the Nether Fortress around to the try and prevent all their mobs from spawning, except for in this box when I'm down in my AFK area, down probably by the bottom bit of bedrock. So if we do some quick math, and I say relatively quick, but you know, say we're here at Y level 60 and we go all the way down, we build a chute all the way down to Y level 8, right? 60 minus 8 is 52, so that means we'd have, we'll round up, we'll say like, I think 76 blocks exactly, probably more like 80 blocks of height that we would have to account for when it comes to spawn proofing, which obviously is pretty tough. Now luckily a good chunk of the fortress is based over a lava lake, so we wouldn't have to spawn proof anything there. It's just for the rest of the fortress, what we'll have to do is within a certain radius of the square, we'll have to go on all of the open nether brick blocks that we have and physically slab them off. So just placing down a bunch of slabs on everything that has like an open surface, and then that'll pretty much solve all of it, frankly. So we won't really need to do much more than that. It's just we need to go down to the AFK hole, and then we have everything slabbed off up top after a certain amount of radius, so that way nothing else can spawn, except in the square that we tell it can spawn in. It gets lured by the iron golem to its death, or near death, where I can go kill it with a free sword. And then ideally we can design this stuff in a way that also allows us to lure zombie pigmen down as well. Which we won't ever be able to build anything that'll lure blazes, but at least if we can lure pigmen, that would be good. And then if we really stretch it as well, because a bounding box is 11 blocks in height, what we can do is we can actually build multiple nether brick platforms. So this is our first central one, but then we can build one that'll be like 4 blocks below this one, so that way it's a 3 block air gap, and then 3 blocks above, 4 blocks above this one. So this one has a 3 block air gap, and then we'll have triple the amount of spawning space, which means that we'll be able to get a lot more Wither skeletons. Or at least that's the goal, so we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but for now let's just keep digging and try to get a little bit more done as we keep going along. Really wish there wasn't so much basalt though, that stuff is seriously slowing me down in a way I just don't enjoy. Finally starting to get back into some netherrack here, so that should make life a little bit easier. Not for a little while. There we go, much better. Carve through netherrack with butter. Just block it off properly. That did it though. I mean, hell, even just having a big platform that spawns a bunch of them would be better than nothing, so I'd honestly take this over nothing. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep on digging here. I've almost got a corner done finally. Of course, I had to be in a basalt delta, which literally could not have been a worse choice, but you know, that's fine. It would have been different if we had a haste beacon, but obviously we don't, so that ain't gonna happen for a while. And I really only want that. I only want enough for one beacon so I can get a haste 2 beacon going. Actually, now that I think about it, even if we get the beacon, we can't even make haste 2 yet because we don't have enough iron. So without building an iron farm, it'll take a lot of mining to get enough iron. Now, luckily, we should be able to we should be able to mine for it, especially if we can find an iron ore vein underground, but otherwise it's just going to be a crap ton. Obviously it's very fun. Yeah, let's go and get this corner going. Go, and then just fill up all of the space here. We probably don't have enough nether brick for this as well. So a bit annoying. And, you know, once it gets down to it as well, we can always build we can always build like a better chute or something that'll get everything through, but it really makes you wonder though if there's a way, okay, because wither skeletons can get aggroed by an iron golem, but I really have gotta wonder if there's a way to move something up without it just relying on portal or bubble golems. No, like, that you could make, like, water elevators before with, like, signs or just basic blocks of water, because those are still fairly useful, because, you know, if it's in water like that, it doesn't want to drown, so it'll swim upwards. I don't know if the same principle applies with lava, or if they'll just, like, let themselves sit there and sink, because they don't burn in lava, but I'm, not really too sure on that one, personally, so I would not know. But either way, what I do know is we need to carve away all of these. Sounds like we also need to take a peek up here. Or not, I lied. Seeing blaze crackles, but I'm not seeing any blazes. Oh, see one there. These guys see me. Very good. More magma cream, which is why I'm trying to kill these guys. There we go. Yeah, see, this would also be another major part of spawn proofing too. But we're not ready for that yet. Oh crap. Yeah, don't do that, man. That's not nice. We got some extra magma creams, that's all good. Skeletons, it looks like we've got a couple of regular ones just hanging out above here. Oh. It's not my sword. Yep, do a little something like that, and it seems like we got another regular skeleton. Okay, why are arrows bouncing off me? Do you guys keep seeing that? 'Cause I don't know what the hell's up with that. I don't know if it's a... I'm gonna assume it's a bug, but... Okay, rude. Didn't ask. Fortunately, because it's not super duper bright, blazes are still spawning. They're like less frequent, but they're still spawning, so this may be one of those things that doesn't properly work out unless I fully commit to it, which I don't particularly... What the fuck? Where'd he go? Where the hell did he go? I hear him, but I don't see him. What the hell? Oh, alright, not my problem. Anyways. Ooh, well, part of it's working. Fuck off, dude. That part don't work. To find glowstone embedded in a wall like that. It's not normal. Still cool though. At least gives me a little bit extra light. Ah, that's why, because it's not really embedded in the walls per se. Embedded in the cave. Magic. Great. Blocked off quick enough this time, so we can just wait for it to save the frame. That's good. Keep an eye out for wither skeleton spawns, but I don't think they want to. It was very awesome and cool of them. Ooh, okay. Whoops. Oh, that fall wouldn't have killed me, but that's not... Fuck, maybe it would have. I don't have feather falling right now, so that could have actually done it. That would have been really annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Such a lame-ass way to go. Right, and I should have expected that too, considering the open-air cave that we were just at not that long ago for the glowstone that I had mentioned, so I don't know how I completely slipped on that one. But lucky that didn't turn out to be any worse than it was there, so yeah. On the bright side, this gives me a much easier bit to mine out. I will gladly accept. But let's not worry about that yet. Just out of curiosity, oh, we're only on day 94, so one in-game day has passed in about 30 minutes IRL, so yeah. There, that's far as I'm going to go right now. I think we got some regular skeletons spawning out there, so we'll see. That's not good. Kinda lame though that we're not really seeing anything spawn out here, but granted we are pretty close. guess. Oh, we just got a massive batch spawning. It looks like it's a massive batch of skeletons. Yay. But honestly, if I get some extra bows, bones, and arrows out of it, I don't really mind. So, because I do need to work on making a very good bow. That's kind of my next goal right now for each game. They're gonna get shot at here. Really? Yeah. It's just me, am I not landing like any crits at all? I think that one was a crit, but what are the others, man? I don't know. And hey, this is getting us some arrows too, so at least we can defend a little bit against some we're gonna save that until we get to a grindstone. Not even an anvil, just a grindstone. So that extra little buff we get with using a grindstone for repairing tools does matter to get it to a full bow, which means we'll have a nice full bow to enchant with. Yeah, you can see we're basically just pretty much out in the open here, unfortunately, with a lot of this stuff. So unless we really want to sit down and take the proper time to... Okay, not good. But luckily it floats with water, so not the end of the world. So unless we really want to take the time to build like a proper hole with a skeleton farm, this is only going to help a little bit, but it probably won't do a whole lot of good. It won't do nothing though. It just won't be like a crazy efficient way, but it'll be more efficient than just blindly running through another fortress and just hoping to get something. So it does make a difference. We don't really need to go too much farther. We got half of it dug out, which is good. Yep. Out of it, that's good too. Why? Let's go ahead and keep on digging. Still have... Oh, well. Actually, no, not really, because we would have to dig a little bit too far into some of the other bits that we have, which is not good for us, so we can't actually dig much farther right this second. It's a bit of a shame. But what we can do is we can try and go mine some nether brick while we're waiting. Since we're right here in a pillar, we may as well. Should also make sure to not just completely shave off any of the sides or anything, or any of like the railing, because we're gonna need them at some point, I'm sure. Make sure we don't die. Minutes and all we've done is just dug. So, yeah, cool. We'll probably ditch the probably ditch doing a lot of the gold grinding for today, just as long as we can finish this platform, and then, you know, we'll make some trips to the blaze spawner and do a little bit there, but for the most part, I don't like need a beacon today, because I'm also not going to, again, have the materials for it, so I think what we'll try and do today is get some enchanting done, and then maybe we'll build an iron farm. We should definitely have a breeder built, though, because we can't also build an iron farm without having a breeder in place. That's kind of another thing. But at the same time, I also want my iron farm to be near my base this time, and not, like, way out in the distance through, like, a nether portal, so... And I don't really want to do that until I have the whole thing dug, because I want to build it right within the base in a specific way. So I kind of can't get too early on it, unfortunately. Puffer? Well, let's not think too hard about that for right now. Just mine out some extra bits. Do that now, there we go. And we'll try and see if we take a dip out to the blaze farm out here, if we can just get a couple of extra blazes just for shits and giggles. And then just kind of see if we can take a little bit of time here to fix up our pickaxe slightly. How that'll impact the spawning platform. If anything wants to spawn, that is. We have pretty heavily affected what can spawn and what can't, so... And I'm already bored, and I want to go do anything else. I'm gonna go do... Uh-oh. Oh. Something's bugged with projectiles. That blaze should have definitely hit me. That was definitely not like a close miss. That was like a direct shot. I'm just wondering if I run all the way to the side over here and I literally just hang out in a corner and I just wait a bit. Also make sure we do a little bit of proofing. I wonder, this should be far enough away. Yeah, so you can see that this is far enough away for stuff to start spawning, but it also spawned them on a part that's a little annoying. Now, if you notice though, they spawn specifically on netherrack, which is a great sign because that means I don't actually have to worry about this being nether brick. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to carve out some more space. Should help out everything a little bit. We'll try and get a little bit more done. You only need nether brick if it's in the general bounding box and not the structure-based ones. Which, when I say that, I mean like the hallways and the cross-sections and all that. And I guess they were far enough in the hallways and cross-sections and whatnot that it didn't count as anything else, so that's really good. So that means we don't have to drag our feet and just sit here and mine a bunch of nether brick. We can just mine everything out and then have that done. this away as well. Yeah, knew I'd seen one spot. I'd seen something. Still no dice, dang. Oh well. Keep on plugging along. Slowly but surely getting my body used to staying up for a lot longer again. So, I've been up since, I think about 6 this morning or 5:30, because I woke up early and then couldn't fall back asleep and then just stayed in bed until it was time for me to get up and get ready for work and all that. I was still up, and then it's 7:12 right now, so it's been about 14 hours since I've been awake, and I've got another 5 to go before I can probably call it quits, but I realistically am going to be up even later than that, so it's been a weekend at all. I have an odd batch of light around here too, and it's because of my torch. Duh. Right there, that would do it. Blazes nearby, so I am a little worried. There may be spawner blazes though. That one's not, that's for sure. He's gonna have line of sight here pretty soon, so we do need to be a little attentive. Also starting to run out of steak here, so we're gonna have to dip into some of our other reserves at some point here. We need to go back and get our baked potatoes. Doing very good on blaze rods, which is great for us. Damn, that scared the crap out of me. It's just the fact that you don't even hear them, like, shoot after they're far enough away, but you definitely hear the fire, so... Good Lord almighty, man, don't do that. That's so not cool. Scared the bejesus out of me too, dude. Just was legitimately not expecting it. I thought he'd despawn because I didn't see him. I was like, oh, well, must be alright then. And the answer is no, it was in fact not alright. That's okay. For now. I think this is a particularly weird nether fortress since it's split between a Soul Sand Valley, Nether Waste, and Basalt Delta. So it's split between like a whole trifecta here, which is pretty unusual. And also makes doing any extra spawn proofing that much more annoying because of the amount of spawn proofing that'll need to be done now. Since it's no longer just, you know, letting it be Soul Sand or Basalt Delta, you now have to consider everything else, which, yeah. And unfortunately, it looks like we still get a bunch of pigmen in here. But these guys are annoying because they take up the mob cap and they also prevent wither skeletons from spawning in here because they take up the mob cap. That's no good. And deal with all these regular pigmen down below as well. But for now, we'll just accept it and kind of let them exist and do their thing. I'll dig out this last strip of basalt, but then otherwise I'm going to head back and go take out most of the other cauldron. So that way we get a bit of a larger space to work with here. See though, with all the fire that we got in here now, is affecting the lighting nearby. Do our best to take care of that. Oh wow, we got a lot of pigmen to spawn here. We will have to try and take advantage of that at some point, but that some point is not right now, so. Especially now with that gas that's hanging around by the sounds of it. And there are a lot of pigmen in here. Yeah, see, this may be where we're getting outside of bounding box territory and would need nether brick, so there's a good chance we're gonna have to okay, not gonna deal with that. Good chance we may have to redo this whole little section, unfortunately. But that's not my problem right this second, because I don't want it to be. Well, anyways. Alright, I hear a blaze as well. And if I break through this. Oh, he's farther outside. Interesting. Seriously, I wish pigmen weren't so damn common. Not cool. I get why beacons are locked behind with their skeleton skulls, but it still doesn't make it any less annoying for me specifically right now. You know. I wouldn't want to change it, obviously. It still just is like, I just want a beacon. Just give me my motherfucking beacon without having to build a big ass farm. That's really the big thing too, is like, you know, you can sit here and grind for hours to get a beacon, but realistically you're just gonna grind for hours to build a farm, which, I mean, I guess isn't necessarily a bad thing either, because you can't balance it. How to explain it? So, iron farms used to be super duper prevalent, obviously, because they were the only, like, good source of iron, even with, like, mining existing, right? But because mining was so dog shit for getting a bunch of iron and gold, it was just only worth it to just build up more farms for iron once you got even a fraction out of early game, right? But now, with the Caves and Cliffs updates and things of that nature, right, they've changed the game enough where they made two very big changes. They made iron much more common in certain biomes, which you have easy control over to go and mine for, and they made iron be affected by function. Interesting. But with those two changes, they ended up basically fixing some of the biggest issues that you could ever really have with iron, which again is just having spots where you can go get it. Alternatively here too, maybe the solution isn't to make wither skeleton skulls a more common drop out of wither skeletons, but isn't to instead make it so wither skeletons spawn a majority of the time, or spawn in larger packs, or whatever the deal is, but something to make it easier to get a hold of a certain thing without just straight up being like, okay, here's a different way to farm it, or something like that, or here's a way that you can do it, you know, an existing way that you already do it to get that thing, but we've buffed it so it's actually comparable to the actual automatic farming way. So there needs to be like a manual way to get wither skeleton skulls that is good enough for casual players to just be like, yeah, I would rather do this rather than build a farm. Because you still have the option for more advanced players to build a farm that gets them a crap ton, but for a casual player it now becomes a lot more doable to get a ton of skulls a lot quicker. How did a blaze end up down there? That does not feel right. So maybe the solution in this case would be to affect the benefit that looting provides. So maybe instead of it going from 2.5 to 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, it's 2.5, 4.5, 6.5, 8.5 instead. So that way when you hit looting 3, you know, you've got a 8.5% chance of getting a skull from any skeleton. So you go from getting, on average, like 5 skulls for every 100 skeletons killed to like 8. So maybe that makes things a little bit better. Ow. Want you taken care of first because you're more than me. Oh, he killed me. Dang. But you can already see right there too that lighting didn't really help me out a whole bunch here, so yeah, not cool. Bastard pigmen, they just do not give a crap at all. They exist literally everywhere, except in the spots that I don't want them to be at, like brother, fuck off. We can always come back and fill the floor in with another brick another day. It's just really, if I can get the actual main structure dug out right now, I think I'd be fairly happy. So, just continue getting this done and see if we can get these pigmen despawn. These guys are definitely eating up the cap in a way that I can't really tolerate right now. Again, we're still trying to get some extra bits and pieces as we're going along, so we got most of them to despawn, but now nothing wants to spawn in to take their place, which is obviously not cool. increase, go ahead and drop off whatever you can. There we go. That should help a little bit. We'll go ahead and dig out this last quarter here. That at least gives us a footprint to clear a bunch of this. I'll have to make a trip out to the LAXB farm so we can work on the bow, and also so we can fix up all of our tools and whatnot. That's something else we're gonna have to do. By all of our tools, I mean literally just the pickaxe, because, yeah, you need to knock it the fuck off. That is not nice, dude. Now, you do have one skeleton. Second one, and a third one. Good. I've grabbed their attention. And no luck yet again. Bit unfortunate, but it is what it do. It's happening. Anywho, let's go ahead and start with this last quarter here. Ironically enough, this is only been about mining for this stream. This stream doesn't exactly have a good title, unfortunately, but that's alright. Pretty much full up on inventory yet again. Go ahead and save whatever else we can real quick. Technically, we do have more to mine because of the basalt. However, I'm not going to be caring about that for right now because I don't have to. Get it another day. Anyways, let's go ahead and try and have all of this be just for our own sake here. Anyways, there we go. We can tuck that away in there. We'll actually take the quartz back home with us. We don't really need to bring anything else home, frankly. All this other stuff is pretty much worthless other than the nether bricks, bones, and arrows. Oh, and magma cream. Take that. Take the brown mushroom too, just because. And we will try and run a little bit. What else we can do? You saw something despawn over there. I can't speak right now, apparently. My head seems to not be working. But bit. Otherwise, we've got a big platform that does not spot anything right now, so yeah, not cool. And notably, we actually don't have like any other spawns like anywhere else though. So yeah, we've got all these pigmen, but we've got slime there. I guess those are nether waste pigmen and not fortress pigments. That's a little different. And then I guess whatever stuff down below ground too. That's fun. Okay, I just saw a blaze spawn there. Of course I did. The skeleton. Blaze. Also need to be careful not to do a sweeping attack, of course, because the moment I do, I'm gonna probably get murdered, so definitely don't want that. Now, I don't know, too, if the play is to just run back and forth, like, across each diagonal, and then just hope that we get a hold of some more wither skeletons. That may be the play. Frankly, I don't really know. I feel my eyelids getting a lot heavier, that's for sure. Seems like staying up for 16 or 14 hours straight probably isn't the best thing to do, but that's alright. We have another intersection here too we can work with as well if we want to, but whatever. Yeah, just in general, it just seems to be like a pretty big lack of wither skeletons, which I can't change right this second. Sure, what I can probably do is physically build a road, like a horse tunnel, right? I can bring a horse in through the nether, or from the overworld into the nether, and then I can basically just have it run along in a direction and go do stuff that would be pretty neat. I think it can't be that bad at aiming. Not gonna worry about that too much, but get the bow out just in case. I'm kind of just out on the prowl right now for some extra bits and pieces. Because I kind of want to get a dried gas while I'm out and about here, if I can. Sounds like I get a shot at it. Luckily everything's really good, I can't aim, so that's fine. Check that fossil, and if there's nothing in the fossil, we'll just go up and find it. Plus, that makes sure that we deload the Nether Fortress a bit, so that helps too. Rude. Fuck off, man. I wouldn't be surprised if that guy had punch, honestly, that was a dickhead. Not like him. Also need to get a hold of a gas tier if we want a dried gas, if we want to make one by crafting. So we will definitely look into doing that here in a moment. Assuming we can even get a hold of the gas to shoot in a relatively safe area that won't just strand it out the middle of nowhere. Speak of the devil. It looks like we got some goodies out of that. Very nice. Dried gas. Alright. I'm assuming it's one gas tier and like 8 soul sand or something like that, I want to say. I haven't had to make any in a while, not since the prior incident that happened, fortunately. Sorry, is that a couple of things? Boop. Okay, no, that's just another waste, not another fortress. Thought we had an additional fortress to work with. I was about to be quite surprised because they shouldn't spawn that close to each other normally. It's either that or it's just a really big fortress, which it is not. So, hey, there we go. Nice, we got one. That's neat. Not only can we craft one, we've also just got one straight up, which is nice to have. I know you can barter with piglins for them too, and they'll rarely give it to you, but bartering's not really that worth it without a barter farm. Or, I guess, okay, well, long term it's super worth it if you have a barter farm, but short term and like early game, it's only worth it for like soul speed. Because otherwise, they don't have anything else that you want early game, because in early game you're only going to want stuff in small quantities usually. So, the big stuff that you actually want, you're only going to get after you have a gold farm and a barter farm set up. You know, it's just another way. Yes. Also, we're basically out of food here, which we will rectify here very soon. Not my problem at the moment, however. You have got to be fucking kidding me. How do we have no wither skeletons here, but we get one blaze? Are we serious? Come on, man. Oh, and we get a ghast. Oh, that's nice. Oh, but we get a blaze. Oh, we get a group of 4 blazes to spawn here just fine. That's nice. Right now we need to be very mindful because we're out of food now. Alright, well, don't get me wrong, I will still take the extra... I will still take... Oh shit. Ooh, hey, we just had a bitch about it hard now. Nice. Alright, first skull. Not bad. Ironically enough, the skeleton that I got it from didn't even come from the fucking spawning platform. It just was here, hanging out. Sure. Why not? Why even bother digging out the big ass platform if it won't spawn anything? Cause fuck you, that's why. Anyways. say, is it even possible to kill a skeleton without getting damaged by it? The answer is yeah. It's just a little annoying. It's obviously very easy if you have a shield, but you know, since I'm playing shieldless and totemless, I'm also distinctly seeing them only spawn on nether brick. Now, that could just be a coincidence, but realistically, something of that caliber is almost never a coincidence, so let's keep that one in mind. So realistically, these will almost definitely need to be switched out with nether brick. There's just about every instance I've seen they've been on nether brick, but they haven't been on nether rack, which is the main bit that we need to figure out. But we'll get to that another day. I don't feel like doing a lot right this second. I'm a little tired, so we got a spyglass. Look at it go. Ooh. Yeah. It's been an hour and a half. We dug a hole and got one wither skeleton skull, so not too bad, all things considered. A little slow, a little boring, but not everything can be super high octane. So here's what it is. Still gonna need that beacon though, regardless, to keep digging all of this out. Just kind of seeing borders here. I mean, I can at least carve out the rest of this to make a solid chunk. So that way, because again, we can at least get it set up so we have a 3x3 of chunks to work with to build the next ring. I think that's going to be the goal for next time. It'll be sometime tomorrow. But first, let's go ahead and take some time right now to get our inventory all nice and clean. Alright, let's see here. Drop, 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 drop. We got some nether quartz. Go. Bricks, rack, soul sand, glowstone, dried ghast. A little bit of gold. Make save. And then plantables. Bone block next to the bone meal. Perhaps being our bones here. Arrows. Nether brick stairs. Then we can organize this around a little bit. There we go. Got our baked potatoes. Turn off F3G. Looks like our trees have done a very good job of growing, so that's all nice and dandy. Go ahead and harvest this right now, I guess. I can have to since we're already here, right? Go. Great, and we'll go ahead and use our grindstone to get our bows fixed up. You are fucking kidding. Really? Come on. Not using levels to fix up. Yeah. Worry about that. You can at least enchant it, so I suppose it's not a particularly big deal, just very lame. Tuck those in there for now. Let's not forget we're also mainly after feather falling for these boots too. So we have our boots and bow on the agenda next. And yes, it does look like these trees do grow. Wait a minute. This might just further prove our test results here, because this tree specifically grew only when there weren't any torches around it, which is a bit of a problem. But that is a very big coincidence that out of everything here, they decided to grow net. So I find that to be very suspicious, personally. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of those. We will probably have to move the bamboo. We'll probably use this area instead for bamboo. I think that could be pretty fair. Let's go ahead and cut this tree down while we're here, because that'll cause all the other leaves nearby to decay. It's good right now. Like that'll be fine. Shouldn't have any other wood blocks out in the area. And then if we need to move these, then we'll move them over here. So we'll line these bits with bamboo, gives us an easy way to chop them down, and then I don't know what we'll do with the extra dirt bits here. Probably can use them to grow mushrooms, I would assume, but I don't actually know for certain. But that's not a me issue right now, that is a tomorrow me issue. Whoops, hit my mouse there a little bit. That's all good. But yeah, that is going to do it for me today. It's currently day 94, and I am pretty drowsy here. I would like to rest a bit. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see y'all again next time. Bye bye.